Alright, we're good.
Live from VTV, it's Comics Anonymous! Woo! Yeah!
That was natural. Pride ourselves with authenticity on this show.
We have so many happy fans. Welcome to Comics Anonymous. I'm your host, Ben Mosher.
I'm Mike Amory.
I'm Darian Lusk.
I'm Jeremy Kaplowitz.
I'm Caleb Fine.
Caleb Fine is replacing Chris Casey temporarily for this episode, but don't worry, he's funny too. Our theme for tonight's episode is regret, and we're going to get right into regret with Mike, who has a full year of regret. Mike, why don't you explain this?
Yes, the popular reoccurring segment, part 2 of Mike's romantic failures.
Woo! Yes! Let's give some context. We were sitting in the Night Owl last night, and we're sitting with Mike, and we were talking about high school, which pairs very well with regret.
What a time, right?
And so
Crazy.
we're talking about how we spent high school, and Mike brings up World of Warcraft.
And how many hours?
Well,
how many days?
Hours would be tough. I don't know how to translate that into hours.
I'll answer that. 8,750.
Which, for those of you who don't know, would be 1 year.
Mike
Not that I played the game
The
for
audience is
one.
stunned.
Not that I played the game for 1 year. I played the game for 6 years, and that time condensed into a full year.
On his World of Warcraft
On a-
save account, it
because
says
the game-
365 days.
Because the game hates you, and you can type in to find out how long you've been playing the game. And my friend wanted to know, and then he just yelled at me.
Chris is here.
Chris is here!
Can we get 6 chairs up here? Can we get like one more?
Like a second
I
row.
think we could fit somewhere.
Chris, you can stand behind
He
it.
filled the desk.
Just lie across the top.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Casey!
Chris Casey!
Hey, I'm sorry I'm late. I watched a homeless person take a shit on my building today.
What?
How do you take a shit on a building? Like, did he did it projectile into the building? Was it in front of the building?
Was he in?
There was a car like right here, and as I came up, he was just doing some of this. And his hands were bleeding.
Me and Chris lived together on Washington Street in what would be called what I would consider one step above a tenement. We live right next to the soup kitchen.
It's where the Saw victims go. That's where they get tortured, is in Darian's apartment.
Yeah, you guys do have a serial killer elevator.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And we also have gone. We've officially gone a month without internet. We don't have internet in our apartment.
You also don't have cups. I went to Darian's apartment to drink wine, and he handed me an empty Pellegrino bottle and told me to wash it out.
Pellegrino's pretty classy. I would drink wine out of Pellegrino. I don't know. Whatever.
I'd rather have internet.
There's also just vomit on the bathroom door, which is just there. And it's not leaving.
I cleaned that today. Someone puked at a party we had last weekend, and I got around to cleaning it.
I want to talk about that.
Okay.
Alright.
We will
Chris is
discuss the
gone.
wall of vomit when Chris returns.
But as of right now, let's talk some more
About regret.
regret.
Oh, well, I didn't get to do my romantic failures.
Oh, alright.
I told you I wrote one. It happened, it'd be a year ago. I was living in the Bingham community, and it was sunny out, and everyone got excited when it was sunny out in Binghamton, and everybody was playing outside.
It's
And
one of the 50 days in Binghamton.
Yeah,
that it's
everyone comes out
That's
when
a
it's
real
sunny. Everyone
statistic.
gets really happy and social. And I was reading a book, and this girl just comes up to me and says, "Do you want to have a catch?" And I was like, "Sure." And then she's like, have a catch with my boyfriend. And so she said it to you.
This catch?
Yeah, she set up a
That's
play
like a
date.
normal thing to do.
It was like I was on a play date. It was
Come play with my boyfriend.
Yeah, 'cause
stranger.
yeah.
That's like a thing that happens, or
Yeah, so I played catch with her boyfriend, and apparently I was a funny enough person that you should come downtown with us, and I was like, yes.
with her and her boyfriend.
Yes.
We need a third wheel. We have to move all over.
It's not fun enough when I just go out with my boyfriend and I need another man to come accompany us because he's good at catch.
I proved my worth.
How long into this interaction were you thinking they're setting me up from a weird threesome? Because that would take me about 5
Well,
seconds.
he was from NYU.
Okay.
So I go downtown.
So my boyfriend's visiting. He really wanted to meet a stranger.
Yeah, he wanted to go on a play date with a
Play
Binghamton
catch.
student. So we played catch, and then I got drunk in their dorm room. And I don't know if any of you have ever seen my stand-up, but I go to therapy. I have some sort of mental kind of issues. So when I drink, it's not always a good thing because I'll get really, really sad.
Oh.
And I got really, really sad when I drank. And I have a friend, Melissa, who I text when I'm feeling sad. The girl who I just put my number into the phone, who had the boyfriend, was named Marissa. I then texted Marissa about 5 pages of how sad I was. At about 1 in the morning.
Was she in the room?
No, we split up. We got split up immediately, which made me sadder, because then I was by myself downtown. And then I was like, oh, I'm sad. And I sent it to Marissa, and I didn't realize that. And so to correct my mistake, I was like, but can we meet for breakfast tomorrow?
My question is, why were you so eager to participate in this hangout? Like, why were
I
you
don't know.
a girl that I've never met and her boyfriend that I've never met? Sounds like fun. Let's do
I
it.
had nothing else to do. I was reading like a book. I was reading a book called "Help! I'm Being Eaten by a Bear." That's the book title. And on the on the front page, it has a guy just being eaten by a bear, and that's what I was reading. So I didn't have a lot of things going on in life at the moment.
I think he just wants you to say that you're lonely. I think that's
Yeah, I think yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Amory. You are a brave man indeed. Okay, for our first real segment, we did something last time that worked well called Defend Your Like. This time we were doing something a little bit different called Blast from the Past, where I did some research on our panelists, except for Caleb, because I didn't know he was going to be here.
I called dibs.
Yup.
And I checked out their Facebook statuses from 2008 to 2009 to see what they posted. So, Mike, the only thing you cared about in 2008 to 2009 was the Denver Broncos. Literally everything that happened in your life was about either that or how you were applying to NYU. Which is sad because I'm in the future and I know that doesn't go well. I'm like, oh man, this is the exact date that Mike Amory had hope.
Well, for you, I'm surprised you didn't see. Also, for like the first year of Facebook, I did. This was during the Warcraft phase, so I wasn't getting I wasn't hanging out with lots of friends. So I was on Facebook, but I had no pictures. So like for a whole year, I just had an album cover from the Bare Naked Ladies as my photo.
That's one of your Facebook statuses. I love the Bare Naked
I
Ladies.
do love the Bare Naked Ladies.
Also,
I still
It's
do.
better than having like a dark elf as your profile.
Yeah. There's also,
Oh, and then my second one, I took one on my MacBook as like a profile picture. So I'm like, this is stupid. I need people to see my face, and it was just like this, like.
One of those selfies. We all started Facebook
I
with a
know.
selfie. That's
Like I wanted to look intelligent, so I figured if you look downward, but also looking at the camera, it's like I'm pondering.
And it's in black and
also,
white.
you begin all of your statuses with says. So it reads, Mike Amory says, the Denver Broncos can't trade Jay Cutler.
well, it used
That's
to be
what I
is.
have to say
It used
about
to be
this.
is, right? They used to all start with is.
Mike never went out with that trend. Alright, Darian, I forgot yours, but Jeremy,
That's
remember
fine.
I'm so nervous about this.
yours were mostly about track.
Yeah.
And about how quirky you were because you were in track. But once you go track, you never go back.
Yeah. I looked through some of them and I was like, I gotta prepare. Because I was like nervous, and I looked at the first one I saw, I was like, I'm not weird because I'm wearing short shorts all the time. And I was like, I'm fucked. This can't go well.
Alright, Chris, you posted about 4 things on Facebook, as per usual. 2 of them were I'm awesome. and one of them was like from like January 5th, 2008, and then you did the same thing 2.5 years later.
Still awesome.
So you either have the highest self-confidence or the lowest self-confidence of anyone I've ever met. Because you just need reassurance that you're awesome.
Constant peak of awesome.
Well, I just want anyone who's like wondering about how I am.
You also, in every picture that you're in, you do this pose. Which is like a bodybuilder pose, except you were chubby when you were a kid.
Well,
Slam! Slam! The audience was doing slam. I think that's turning into a thing.
It's gonna be a thing.
Yes.
it's called the rocket stance.
Okay.
Okay, get it right next time.
That's just
From Johnny Rocket?
it's a little bit of this. Like,
You do one with your mom, too, and she's just not happy to be a part of the rocket stand. She's
yeah.
Like that. Just giving this this is my son face. Slam. Caleb, again, I just didn't do you.
I know.
We can make some up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want your chair? Alright, I'll get off stage.
No.
Caleb, fine,
no.
everybody, but you can stay. I mean,
Nah.
you can take a standing
Well, I'm
spot.
caught in the lights. Hold up.
You can take my standing spot. It feels very natural back here.
I just had.
We're gonna go to commercial
Hanging out with all your
break.
friends' backs.
Let's see.
Guys.
You're now the person who gives Darian massages during the show.
That'd be great. We should have a designated massager.
All right, Caleb. This is from February 20th. I didn't do too much. I didn't do too much
And I'm really not in.
digging, but I had a dream about floss dispensers in public bathrooms. Can this become a thing?
I think that could be a very good thing. I'm just saying, like, you're
You know,
out.
floss is like this big, and you can just carry it with you. You really need to floss on the go.
But then you're that person that carries around floss. Who wants to be that guy?
The same guy that dreams about floss dispensers in public bathrooms, I guess.
Floss is just a string. It's not that weird. My face.
I'm enjoying it. You should post statuses about this, Caleb. This is the kind of man I want you to be. He's massaging me all the time.
Alright.
You get it for this episode.
We are going to do our first guest appearance now. This is a very good friend of mine from high school. He is an aspiring stand-up comedian, and because we are Comics Anonymous, we're going to help him. My friend Adam's problem is he only writes premises. So he'll set up a joke and then just do nothing with it. So we're going to help him think of jokes. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Yodozek. Alright.
You better keep massaging me.
Yeah.
I will walk off this show.
Go behind me.
There's a camera.
Oh, there's a camera.
You have to be in front of the camera.
Adam's very shy on screen.
I'm not shy.
Okay.
Also, Adam puked on the wall in my apartment.
You have to say that.
Yeah, you did.
Adam is the culprit of our wall puke. So.
Yeah.
How he's been introduced.
Jesus.
Caleb's going deep. Alright. Adam, let's hear some premises, buddy.
Alright, well, my first one is my family is Polish and crazy. I don't know what to do with that.
Alright. Panelists, what are we thinking? Polish and crazy.
Are they crazy because they're Polish?
I'm like 40% Polish, so I think you should
It's
put
like,
you.
like 100% crazy.
Yeah, so legally, yes, in the state of New York. But I think you should throw in pierogies. There should be something with pierogies in there. A Polish delicacy. One of the many few things that have come out of
One
Poland.
audience member is really happy about
Yes.
that. You just made this.
You should mention that your parents are tired of being invaded by other countries.
Poland is like the Lucky Charm of wars.
all
Everyone
I
just
know
thinks
about
like
Poland.
like if we grab Poland, then we'll get everything else.
Alright, any other ideas for Polish and crazy? Okay, Adam, got any more premises?
Well, you guys have heard this one before, but, well, I got escalators. Like, man, what a mess.
Alright, panelists, we got an escalator crisis. What do we got?
Take the elevator.
Sometimes on escalators it's fun to just like grab the sides and run up the little metal on the side.
I actually ran up an escalator once because I got lost in a movie theater.
If you want to work out and you're really poor and you want to do like the step machine, you can just keep walking on an escalator really slowly. I guess. I don't know.
Sorry!
The premise sucks.
Adam imagined that as a serious idea just now. He was like, wow.
I can work with that.
Like the old, yeah.
Where's Louis C.K.'s escalator jokes?
Alright, any other premises?
Here, I got one more. It's just, I just bought a pet shark.
Alright, panelists. Adam has just bought a pet shark. What shenanigans is he getting into?
I would love to see that sitcom.
Yes. And it's like a talking pet shark.
Yeah, that wears a top hat.
He's the, and like Adam's the straight man, and like
The shark
is
is voiced by Mr.
wisecracking-
T. Mr. T voices the shark.
The shark's possibly having sex with dolphins.
Yeah.
Oh, like, oh yeah.
I think that'd be like a funny no, it wouldn't. We're cutting that sitcom right now. Anyone who's watching this in the future, we're not picking up Adam's shark sitcom.
But maybe we do. Stay tuned for next episode.
Now you have to watch it.
Yes. Do we have any more premises, Adam?
No, I'm all up.
Look for Adam's new Comedy Central Presents special, where he tells 3 premises and then leaves.
Alright, last episode we did something pretty well. We did Bing U secrets and that seemed to work well. So I'm going to announce a Bing U secret and our panelists are going to give advice about the people in trouble. So, number 95. Everyone in my hallway has had sex with somebody else in my hallway. Delaware Newing is full of floor cest. Panelists.
That is not a pun. Floorcest? Floor doesn't rhyme with in.
It's like when people add.
Wait, no, there is a comment though that knocks it out of the park. Floorgy.
That's a real pun.
He should. But this guy should be on the show. He makes good puns.
But that
I
only
think
works
we
if the
shouldn't
sex
have
is
that
going on
person.
at the same time.
And
You
in
can't
the
have
hallway.
you can't have a time delayed orgy. That doesn't make sense.
Okay, so I guess we're not gonna tackle that one. That's too messy.
They're all tackling each other.
Are floors traditionally like all one sex? Or is that just me? Like,
That's always
No.
gonna be. Delaware Newing gets no rules.
oh,
It's the Wild West of Newing.
Yeah, they party hard.
Also, floors are really hard.
yeah, it's not a great place to have an
Yeah, right? Like, use a bed.
Let's see what else we got. There are like a lot of personal ones here.
Let's read those.
Okay. I met this cutie at a UP party. Bagged her number and texted her, but she never hit me back up. She had on pink and black leggings. If you see this, what's good?
Well, I could say the Mike Emery from a year ago's advice would have been you should text her every day until she responds.
What's a UP party? Is that a thing all of a sudden? Like, who goes to UP? Like, I don't really realize that.
One audience member is really proud of going to UP. Okay.
Chipotle?
I would love to have a party.
Oh my god, this is because I agree with this so much. If you're at the Bartle Pods during a super busy time and you're sitting in front of a not logged in computer studying from a notebook or unbelievably on your own laptop, fuck you, have some courtesy. That is so true. I hate that, but I need to print and someone's on fucking Facebook in the pods. It is the single most annoying thing ever.
I have a Facebook class that I need to study for in the library.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah,
I'm the laptop in front of the computer guy.
Why?
It's hard to find places to plug in. Sometimes I like to use the mouse from the computer.
Those computers don't have League of Legends on them.
Yeah, true. Those yeah, you're trying to print. I'm playing League of Legends in the box.
And Caleb is still massaging people.
Chris, has anyone come up to you while playing League of Legends and yelled at you?
Yes. Yes, I've had. I mean,
There's one particular time.
there is
I
one
remember.
in particular time. Well, this guy was being a real. It was an important game of League of Legends. All right, he obviously.
And they're all important too. So
Yeah.
this is a
This was an
the stakes are
extra
high.
important game, and
Alright.
I guess obviously.
Ryan, keep going now.
Okay, obviously, yeah, they don't play League of Legends in his frat or whatever, and he wasn't into it. But I was.
This was in the library.
Yeah, and I was. At first, no one was around me in the library. Like I was all alone. I had my own little area on the second floor. So I'm playing League of Legends. I'm so nerdy. I get on a server to speak with the people I play with. So I'm like speaking about the game. Like, oh, this person's MIA. Like, oh, we better push the top lane. I know you guys don't know what that means, but so I'm doing that kind of thing, and people come and start studying around me. And I'm like, well, and they're like, can you stop? I'm like, come on, I was playing here first.
I'm doing everyone. Deal with it.
Alright, this is an interesting one because it refers back to when we
the
discussed-
story
It's only just begun.
And then Chris beat everyone up, and it was a great story.
I mean,
No.
I don't remember exactly what happened, but it ended up.
Did they beat you into a coma?
Well, yeah, they ended up yelling at me. Well, I was like getting kind of mad at them because they came over to study near me. So I was like, all right, I won't talk on the thing anymore. I'll just play. And then they were like, can you stop clicking so much? And I was like, dude, come on, like you're already over here, like totally harsh in my mellow. I'm trying to win a game. And I'm not even level 18 yet. I'm way behind. and he went and got a librarian at one point because like he kept talking and like my mic was still on, and so all internet people are horrible, so they're all yelling in my ear like, "Tell him the fuck off!" and then so he started talking to his friend next to him like, "So did you get the answer to like question 20?" I'm like, "Whoa, can you quiet down? I'm trying to play a video game." And then he got the librarian to ask me to leave.
And then you left?
And now I play, and now if I have to play video games, I'm often found around this like area.
Yeah, in the
It's
basement of the
quiet.
Union where we all like
Yeah.
our hub on campus.
So if you want to see Chris after the show.
Playing video games.
Yes.
All right, finally I get to say this. This is an interesting one because last week we did one about black girls needing love, and now we have a post responding to that black girl. To all the black girls who post secrets about black girls needing love, grow up. Slam. I am a black girl too, and I found love. You are not finding love because you're black, it is because you're thirsty as hell.
Oh shit.
What does that mean?
So random.
Does everyone know what this means
Yeah,
in the audience? I don't know.
Thirsty means thirsty for semen.
Oh, okay.
In layman's terms.
They should have that in the vending machines.
Semen?
Yeah.
Next secret. I think we're finding out more secrets than we bargained for.
Does that go in the snack machine or the drink machine?
I don't know. It depends, I guess, like if is it frozen, is it warm?
We're not having this conversation. We're not having this conversation.
Alright, next segment.
Oh, but our producer in the back room is just like, nope. No, man.
We go there.
Alright,
Edgy.
time for a PG one. Who keeps on stealing all the salt from the Newing dining hall?
Oh man!
Come on, guys. Our producer's like, yes. We're back.
It's relatable.
They're putting it in the semen, and we're
It's the dream that will never die.
Thank you, secrets, everybody. That was an awesome
Thank you for that segment.
Alright.
You just wait. When you send your kids to school, I'm gonna start that company, and they're gonna be like, "Mom, you would never guess what they sell now in the vending machines." And you'd be like, "I knew that
That's
kid."
just a sperm bank. They just don't put it in a vending machine. 'Cause that's not how the world works.
Everything should be in a vending machine.
Alright, we have our next segment now. We have two more guests on the show. We're all going to clear off and let them take them. These are two townies, two of our townie friends who are members of the Binghamton Stand-Up Club, and they're going to talk about local Binghamton news because Binghamton is chock full of adventure and other happenings. So ladies and gentlemen, Jared Winters and Dan Dougherty.
Yes.
Alright, I'm saying. Alright, so, Jared, Dan, first of all, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Sure.
anything else to do.
All right.
Ouch, okay. Slam.
I've been looking forward to it all week.
We have a lot to discuss about Binghamton. Recently, it was discovered that there was an explosion, and that explosion was a meth lab. So, do you guys have any insight on this? Any news on the meth happenings at Binghamton?
You surprised?
Binghamton is the meth capital of America.
Tioga County is the meth capital of the United States, and it's bordered by Cortland County, which is the incest capital of the United States.
Man, upstate
Fun
New York
fact.
is killing
Off the
it.
top of your head or something?
These are things I study. I don't go to school.
He doesn't go. He's not in this university. That's not a joke, or any university. He's just a guy.
I'm a dropout. dropped out.
He just hangs out with the stand-up club. That's what he
Well, I'm
does.
a comedian.
Possibly sells weed.
Well,
And
I
meth.
mean, do you see the turtleneck? I was.
Oh, you're wearing a green turtleneck. You just have a volcano as well.
Oh my God!
Do you want my sweater?
No, this is better. This is.
You're literally just a floating head.
I'm like an anti-Ray Man. Well, Rayman's a torso.
Oh wait, I'm
doesn't-
getting word from our producer that it's not actually a floating head.
Oh, you can see me?
Thank God.
Oh, good.
I can see.
That segment makes no sense to anyone now. Like, people that don't know how a green screen works are now like, what the hell are they talking about? Like, I can see him fine. He's not Rayman. That game was awesome.
Alright, so what other Binghamton happenings are there? There has to be some. Chris got pooped on almost today. There has to be some crazy things going on in Binghamton
Oh yeah,
side.
did you know that guy?
What did he look? What was his name?
I didn't ask his name.
How do you gotta get like close?
How are you? I live here.
He's the old homeless-looking one with the
Yeah.
bleeding hands and
He-
the poop coming out. On
He asked me for change every time I walked past downtown because I used to work downtown and I'd always walk to work and he'd always be like, "Yo, you got change?" Until one day I was like, "Fuck you, no!" And then the next day he asked again and then like he realized, oh wait, this guy no. So like after that he doesn't ask anymore. But I haven't seen him in months. I'm sure all of the meth has gotten to him and he no longer.
You're assuming that this is the same homeless guy. Like there's just one homeless guy in Binghamton. I assure you there are many more
There's like
than one.
4. I mean, they just change clothes.
Yeah, there are barbershop courts that have homeless people.
I'd pay to see that.
So what other Binghamton happenings?
Parade day's coming
Yeah, I
up.
was
All right, parade day for all of you, all of you that don't live in Binghamton and are just people I know or that other people know that are watching this. Parade day is a day where there's a parade and everyone gets really drunk.
It's okay to get drunk at 9 a.m.
Yeah,
It's true.
So what are your guys' parade day plans as townies? What do
To
you
get
guys?
drunk at 9 a.m.
Yeah, shit-faced. all
Do you
day.
guys have any like crazy parade day stories?
I was driving a bus once.
And
Oh man, parade day is always crazy. I don't know. I've never been because I've always been driving a fucking bus.
I've never been to a parade day where I didn't get punched in the face.
why? What, do you instigate? Do you just people want to punch you in the face?
Yeah.
Both of those?
Yeah, no, both though. Well, I mean, if you're an instigator, you're the guy that people just want to punch you in the face. I mean, both of them are the same if you think about it.
But no one's ever just been like, hey, you look like someone I can take
well, there was
in
this
a fight.
one time, and I was like, hey, there was this girl, and she was like, why don't you want to date me? And I was like, because you're a slut. And then she's like, and punched me in the face.
What was it like a tough blow or like?
No, it was like a sucker punch. I had to tackle her.
Sort of like
Yeah, well, she was
like
winding
that
up for
fortune.
another one. She was like ready to go again. I'm like, no, and I tackled her into a table.
Townie time with Jared and Dan.
It was like 10 at night. I was wasted.
Alright, so it's time, unfortunately, that we do get back to the theme of the show, which is regret. And I don't know if you guys, we have a lot of regrets. What is this?
Oh, I was looking around in the back room, and I saw that they have like stacks of VHS tapes here. And I found one that says Randy Rodin, Greek God, 1998. And I kind of want to watch it.
Is that going to just add to your VHS collection?
Yes, of the Greek gods.
That's like,
Mike collects VHSs of Greek gods.
Yes.
That is what we've gathered.
that's just one person.
Like, do you think that's his real name, or is this like a porn?
Well, it's Randy with an I, so I assume it's a girl. So
There
you're
would be
just
a
watching
goddess.
a girl on
I thought it was a
VHS.
guy.
God versus goddess.
So regret.
It'd be Aphrodite.
Speaking of weird names, okay. Actually, I don't want to tell us. It's too graphic for BTV. That will get us in trouble. But regret. Anyway, weird segue. I have a regret that I would like to talk about. It's about.
Our producer just handed me a tape that says True Chaos, and then it's crossed out, and then under it says Pool Party 1996.
Why aren't these on the air at BTV? I want to send.
Oh, and then actually that's crossed out, and then it just says The BJ Show. This tape has a rich history.
No comment.
What other VHSs do you think we can dig up here? Do you think they have other, like,
I don't think we're gonna beat the BJ show.
The BJ show.
the chaotic pool party? Yeah.
So regret.
Regret.
We're here to speak about regret.
Regret turns into party fouls, which is like originally what we were going to talk about.
Well, I have
Oh
a
yeah.
story.
Okay,
We've got some
story.
party fouls.
All right, this is a story about a friend of mine who went out last semester by himself, and you should never go out by yourself. All right, so yeah, just regret. This is we'll call him Brian because that's his name. That's his real name. He was in CIW. He's a real person. All right, so my friend Brian, he tried to bribe me into going out with him with 2 Red Bulls. That's what he said. He was like, "Come out with me, I'll give you Red Bull." And I was like, "No, because I'm not your friend." And,
I don't know who you are. You just came up to me.
right. So he goes out by himself, and he figures he'll go to the frat Alpha Sig because his roommate's in it, and he can't get in. They just don't let him in because he's not a girl. So
Is that how frat works?
Yeah, they don't like him at all. Even
Did he
he's
offer
legal.
Red Bull?
No, he didn't. That was his big mistake.
It's sugar free, guys. Come on.
So he doesn't get in. He goes to a different frat. He doesn't remember which one, and he has 5 beers, which he was bragging to me about because he's like drunk off 5 beers.
All right, so he's a tank.
Yeah. Drunk off 5 beers at a frat party. He leaves, he decides to pee on a tree, and then he gets tackled by a police officer. And he promises me he pulled his pants up first, but I don't believe him because he's a dirty liar.
That Brian.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
Red Bull and lies.
Right. So he goes to the police station where the police officer handcuffs him to a pole because they treat him like a dog. And then he throws up all over the pole. And he somehow manages to lose everything there. He loses his wallet, which has $60 in it, and all his ID cards. And then he thinks he went to the hospital, maybe, is what he said, because he, quote, was lying on a bed or some shit. So, because he doesn't know what a bed is, I guess. So somehow he gets...
either be a bed or some shit is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no distinction between bed and shit.
Well, he was just handcuffed to a pole that he was vomiting on, so he was drunk off of 5 beers.
I have a good regret story.
Let's hear it.
This is about my friend. She broke up.
Jeremy.
One thing, he goes back to CIW and he goes into his room on the wrong floor and he sleeps in the wrong person's bed until 5 a.m. when he gets woken up by that person, kicked out. And that's regret.
And that is regret.
Yeah.
So my friend who works on the newspaper with me, she had a really bad breakup with her boyfriend, and so they'd been going out for like a year. And this was like the first weekend that she was single, and she's like, "I'm gonna go to the Rat and just go crazy." She goes to the Rat, and she's like drinking, and then her boyfriend appears, and he has a cranberry vodka, and she's like, "Well, that's a girly drink," and he's like, "Yeah, it's not for me," and his new girlfriend comes up. And that's the end of the story. How sad is that, though? Oh my god! Like, oh my god! You can't make that up.
This is real life.
Yeah.
We're better than the BJ show.
We have a new one. This
We're going into the vault of BTV.
this VHS is entitled "Best of Spit on This," which I guess is
I hope that's rap.
a former TV show of BTV.
BTV had to have aired amateur porn at one time.
I'm an entrepreneur.
What other tapes do we got there?
Spit on This has so many episodes that there's a best of tape.
Yeah, I like the idea. It's like,
The fans of Spit, like whatever that show is called, are just like, I love that episode. Like, that's a classic Spit on This.
Yeah.
That's gotta go on the compilation.
Like when I think of spit on this, I think of this.
If we had a best of show for our thing, it would just be 100% of the show, 'cause that's how little we've done.
So what else? Do we have other tapes?
no.
Chris, how about a regret story?
Oh.
Chris is awesome. He doesn't have regret.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Yeah,
I'll
I
think
can
of a good regret
tell.
story.
Jeremy's story reminded me of seeing when I went to the hospital. I saw someone arrested there. They were handcuffed to a wheelchair, and so I asked the officer like, why was he arrested? And basically, this is New York City. I was going to college in New York City at the time. He was on the subway platform with a duffel bag, and when the subway door opened, he kicked the duffel bag into the car and then ran the other way. Which is, if you haven't lived in New York City, that is a great way to get arrested. to pretend to be a terrorist
Maybe he was just giving the taxi driver a gift in a duffel bag.
on the subway.
On the subway. Oh, it was the subway.
On the
I wasn't
subway.
listening.
Yeah,
I regret that I wasn't listening.
and all he kept saying in the hospital was, "It's Obama's time now. It's Obama's time now." Like, because Obama was president, he could like blow things up. Now, I don't know.
Obama's American, man.
I know.
This is getting dark.
Yeah.
We're gonna start a discourse on post 9/11 USA.
The weird thing is that it happened in like 1990, so like no one even knew who Obama was.
Yeah, right.
Mike was one.
Yeah, I have an alright regret story. Alright, it's just a story, really. But
Let's hear it, Chris.
I've told you guys this story before, but not on the show, obviously. So one time I was hanging out with some of my. It was over the summer. I think Tuesday. Not. You don't give a shit. It happened. I'm with some of my friends. We've been friends since high school, and we want to have a campfire type thing, but we don't have any firewood. So we invented a sport called urban lumberjacking, which is where if you ever live in a small community or anything, they'll have like on the sidewalks and stuff, they'll have like trees planted, you know, by the road. So we ran out into the streets with an axe and urban lumberjacked. And then there was a bunch of us. We pick up like this decently big tree, like a big tree to just be cutting down in the middle of my town. And we all pick it up. There's like 10 of us, and we run it back. Like probably couldn't have looked more suspicious.
How much firewood did you need?
Put it in the backyard. We put it in the backyard, and like 30 minutes later, like we haven't even started making the campfire yet. A police officer comes to the door, and like I take the lead on talking to the police officer. And I don't know if the police officer wasn't quite sure what he was called in for, but as he was talking to me, he like looks down in disbelief, like it says here, you boys stole a tree. Meanwhile, my absolutely idiot friends are in the backyard freaking out that there's a police officer there, and they throw the tree into the swimming pool.
You just throw it in your backyard, like into the woods. It'll blend right in. It's a tree.
Yeah.
Stand it up.
Anyway, I'm talking to the cop.
Bernie's with trees.
I'm
Like sunglasses on, they'll never know.
Like move its limbs. See, it's alive.
and
Socializes with people.
and I'm talking to the cop, and I'm like, steal a tree? What? That's crazy. How do you even steal a tree? Aren't trees for everybody? But the cop does leave, and we would have got away with it, but you can't use firewood that's been in a pool. So we went out and chopped down another tree. At which point the cop intercepts us on the way back to the house, and I was like, come on! It's Grand Theft Arble.
It's a slam on society.
Did anything happen? Like, was there?
We got taken to the police. Well, I think only I did actually. I was the one talking to the cop at first, and my mom came and got me, and it was okay. My mom was a little like, "What are you doing? Get a job!" And we later determined the real urban lumberjacks, like hardcore urban lumberjacks, just chop down telephone poles.
That's the extreme version. They play at the X Games.
Yeah.
Right, we're not ending the show on that. So someone tell another story. Come on, guys. You're panelists. You're Comics Anonymous.
Then you have a story.
I will tell a story about regret.
You sound like you're in front of your first grade class.
This is my report on regret.
Ben, you're ready. You're ready.
Regret is regretful.
I guess I can tell a regret/romantic mishap story that blends the first and last segment of the show to make this go full circle. Alright, so it was at summer camp, I was working, and there was like this really cute Australian girl. and I wanted to ask her out. So I did, and I was like, hey, let's hang out one time. And she was like, yeah, sure, we'll like meet up at town because it was our night off. So I'm talking to my friend later, and I'm like, so what should I do on this date? And he's like, act mysterious. So I don't go on the date. Don't show up. Like 15% because I want to be mysterious, and 85% because I was so scared to go on this date because she was cute, and I'm like a 6 at best. She's way out of my league.
Did she have an accent?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, fuck.
And then, so the next day, she's like, hey, where were you? I'm not going to do an accent, so she sounds a lot like me in this story. She's like, hey, where were you? And I was trying to keep this mysterious guise on, so I was just like, well, you know. And that was where I left. Meanwhile, I was like doing some sort of application for something and like watching Arrested Development and thinking, why am I not on this date? And it got so awkward from that point on that she made up a boyfriend to talk about for the rest of camp.
Well, it was camp. Like, that's what people do at camp.
She just made up a boyfriend at home. Yeah, like classic
It's
camp
like classic
kid.
camp, yeah.
And like every day she would make up a new trait. And her boyfriend was the fakest, most interesting person on earth. Like every day, like, yeah, like my boyfriend just texted me. He went scuba diving today in Brazil. My boyfriend just does that. And I'm like, well, that's cool. You know, I played Frisbee with my kids today, right? Like, I one-upped this imaginary boyfriend.
Just to make it clear, he was at camp. He doesn't have children. He's like 18.
Yeah.
It's not Ray here.
Inside jokes on BTV.
Yeah.
None of you get that.
Alright, so, regret. Thanks everybody
Oh, we're
for showing
done?
up. Yeah.
Oh,
We can't have that.
Wait, we're not just rapping about this show.
I was
Oh,
gonna
we're
say,
doing
I
that?
could talk about
me
when
and Darren
I.
have to figure out a melody.
I was gonna say I could talk about when I blacked out on New Year's or when I threw up on parade day.
Regret.
Good. Parade is good. Let Mike
Regret,
go.
baby.
Oh yeah, parade day. So 2 years ago on parade day, I don't drink often, as I said before, for obvious reasons. But I decided, like, it's 10 a.m. I'm gonna drink with my boys on parade day, and we're gonna play.
Boys, squad.
And we're gonna play NBA 2K11 to get drunk. So we made a game where basically after every quarter, whoever's losing has to drink. And I'm really good at NBA 2K11. I thought I wasn't getting drunk fast enough, so I was just taking shots intermittently between games. And then I decided that I was gonna play the '98 Chicago Bulls, and I was gonna pick the '97 Utah Jazz. Where I decided I had a fixation that Jeff Hornacek was an amazing three-point shooter, so I took about 73 pointers with Jeff Hornacek and drank about 8 shots during that game. And so then I go on the bus, and the bus is packed with everyone I know. Just everyone. People walking by. Oh, hey, Mike. Everybody knows me.
Was Dan driving it?
Yeah, I think Dan was driving the bus at this time.
You guys are all paying attention.
And so I feel like I'm on the bus, and I'm like, I'm going to throw up. But I decided it was going to be a small throw up. So, the logic part of my brain fires. If you throw up down your shirt, you can hide it, and no one will know. So I proceed to do just that, not realizing that the first throw up was followed by a much larger second throw up that just shot down my shirt and all over the floor. On the bus with everyone looking at me very angrily. And so what happened was everyone gets off the bus and they're like, "You gonna come with us?" I'm taking the bus back. And so what I do was, like, I don't want to be caught as the guy who threw up, so I just moved 2 seats over and looked out the window, like, nonchalantly, like, oh, someone threw up? Oh, I was just gazing at the sunset outside. I don't know what happened. And that was parade day. It was regretful.
Have a safe parade day, everyone. Thank you so much for coming.
Comics Anonymous, yeah.
Thank you. We're Comics Anonymous.
I think we should say it one more time. We're Comics Anonymous.
We're Comics Anonymous.
Alright, see you next week.
Oh, we're not gonna say I just live here. I'm just gonna sleep here until the next show.